Coach, thank you for joining us. Congrats on the win. Would you like to start out with an opening statement or jump right into questions?
We're good, Matt.
All righty. Jada, why don't you lead us off?
Thanks. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the win, Brian. Um, I just wanted to ask a little bit about the second half, though. Seemed like some old things kind of came, not old, I guess, but some of the issues that you've had this season kind of popped up again that didn't allow you guys to close out the game exactly maybe that you would wanted. What happened in the second half that maybe you saw that still needs to kind of be worked on to protect a 3-0 lead like that?
Well, let me start by saying that Raul's first goal was classic Raul. There's not many people in this league that have the savvy, the game awareness to understand and see already that the goalkeeper was out of position. And there was no hesitation. There was no hesitation. As soon as the ball was there, he knew what he was going to do. The second goal, the kid came up with a clutch play. It actually reminded me, we used to have a monkey on our back with the Galaxy a long time ago. And Osvaldo Alonso went down to the Galaxy and shot a ball that we won like the game 3-1, 3-2, Jada. And it kind of propelled us up into, playoff contention, making sure that we owned the Galaxy. And then Raul's goal, the penalty, takes a lot of nerve because we needed all 3 goals to push this over the line. But when you score 3 goals away from home, your expectation is you are going to win. And that was the expectation at halftime. We're certainly going to learn from the nervy moments in the second half. But that was a monster performance from a group that's, it's them against the world. You guys can talk about what we need to do better. I'm going to talk tonight about what that team did well. On 2 days rest, come on. I'm proud of those kids.
And so then it kind of erases any kind of hiccups, the fact that they were able to get out of there with the win.
Of course it does, Jada.
Overrides. Okay.
Of course it does.
Well, you just didn't answer the question.
Winning in MLS is hard. And winning away from home against the Eastern Conference leaders is super hard. So we will do our normal review of the film. We certainly will think about the things that we can do better. But as far as I'm concerned, team played great tonight.
Jeremiah, go ahead.
I guess, you come off a game where you played well in the second half. But how important was it to just get the 3 points to come out of this road trip with something to show for it? And I guess that's more the mentality going into the game more than in it, so to speak. Like how badly did you need these 3 points?
I think everybody could do the math, Jeremiah. We were pretty far down there. We're still too far down there for my liking. But we need points in every single game that we play for the remainder of the year. Simple as that.
And how important was it though to just be able to get something out of this trip to just start building some momentum and to build some belief? I know you guys have talked a lot about how
the team already had belief, Jeremiah. Yeah. They already had belief. We just were shooting ourselves in the foot. Now, Steph's reversal of the red card, was that justification? No, because we didn't get any points in DC. Maybe the call got overturned, but it doesn't do us any good now. And so we need to collect points from here on out. We're going to take this group of players and we're going to go into LA Galaxy and we're going to play in the Open Cup. And we're going to go down to the Timbers. We're going to do the same thing. That group's committed. I'm telling you guys, that group's committed to themselves. Again, maybe it's a little bit of them against the rest of the world. Maybe I'm going to let them, write the rest of this season's history. But That's a committed group.
Masvita.
Brian, speaking of kids and commitment, what can you say about Vargas? Just we talked to him. He said he's playing carefree now. You know, for a kid to do that under all this pressure, what can you say about just his maturity? I know it's a long season, but seems like he's gotten to a new space now.
Oh, him and Josh are tremendous talents. We've got a lot of talented young kids on this team. As you know, you see it at practice every day. I mean, those two kids had a monster performance against DC United. Those two kids played really well tonight. Not just the goal. Maz, you're a tactician. I mean, some of the stuff that they were doing tactically, very good, covering, because look, we put an attack-minded lineup out there. Okay, we weren't coming here just to defend. And so those guys had to cover a lot of ground, and they did good work.
And then in terms of your senior experience, did they help in terms of once Philly scored those 2 goals, kind of slow down the game? Something you talked about working on learning how to win? Because it seemed like the experienced players did a little bit of that today.
Look, Raul gave us everything he had. He was gassed at the end, but he gave us some possession moments. Christian, again, another gutty performance, gave us some balls that he won in midfield. We were able to get out. Albert, when he came on, was able to extend some possessions. Jordan had a big game. You know, I didn't want to take him out of the game at the end, but we figured he was just done, and we get fresh legs in there. I mean, remember, Moss, it was 3-0 at halftime. And then before they scored the 2 goals, we had some pretty good chances. I mean, Jordan throw in deep in their half early on. Raul scores at his 4-0 game's done. Chu, good counterattack early in the second half to Jordan. He kind of, got stuck between his legs. Another moment where Christian gets down the end line. Jordan maybe a little bit more in front of his defender. Maybe he squeezes it in. I mean, we had some good 3-4 chances in the second half to put it away before they scored the 2 goals.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Nico Moreno.
Thanks. Brian, congratulations on the win. I want to go back to Vargas. He kind of alluded to his confidence and the way he's played this last couple of games for a team that has, struggled on the offensive side to kind of just finish. How important is it to get him at a level where he can continue to be a guy that breaks pressure, dribbling through, that he has this type of performance to score to affect the game vision-wise? How key is that for you?
Well, the slip pass he had in Montreal to get us the goal, his goal tonight obviously was well taken. Some of the things that the kid does do extremely well, wiggle out of pressure. I mean, that's just who the kid is. And so what he's done is, because remember, we're talking about Josh, Obed with JP, but he's now put himself in the conversation. We got to play against LA Galaxy without Alex Roldan. So if I put Christian Roldan back at right back, like I did against DC, who's going to play where Christian plays? Well, you might have just seen your answer tonight.
All right, we got one more on Zoom before we toss to a couple in the room, before a couple follow-ups. So Felipe Makeda, why don't you go ahead and ask your question?
Thank you. Coach Brian, congratulations on the win. I think it is a very good moment, energy to face LA Galaxy. And what is it that the team needs to play the way they played today and the way that they play against Vancouver? What does it take to make them play like that more often? Thank you.
We have a talented team, Felipe. Thank you for the question. We have a talented team. They're firmly committed to playing well, home, away from home, against any opponent. I think you're going to see a very tight group of players doing everything they can to get us out of this hole.
All right, Kev, I'll toss to you for 2 questions in the room before we circle back for a final 2 follow-ups on Zoom. So go ahead.
Coach, after that second half, now having to take the trip back, how do you switch the mindset on a short week to get ready for Sunday?
It'll be tough. Look, it's a long flight. We do want to get out of here, and we'll get home 3 a.m. We'll give them the next day off. Next day in will be recovery. But we have a brand new facility that has. You guys need to see it. I mean, it has every recovery piece of equipment. I mean, cryo, heat, cold tubs, hot tubs, infrared sauna. I mean, we have such a nice facility that the guys are going to recover, and it's a home game. So that's going to keep us going and keep us moving in the right direction.
Coach, right before the game, I think we spoke about your bag, your old school bag. That brought you a little bit of luck today. What else other than luck? I mean, you guys had a pretty good game. Any positives from tonight?
Well, yeah, I think our luck is turning because look, there was maybe a penalty shot with Obed. They had a chance. I know they were looking at our penalty. It just seems like we've been stung with some bad luck. That bag doesn't have any magic potions in it. It's a bag I've had since '09. I think, again, what I would fall back to is that group of players is really determined to try and do something with this season, and let's see if they can do it.
All righty. Thanks, Kev. Go to 2 more back in Seattle. Jada, why don't you go ahead and ask your follow-up?
Thanks. I'll ask a better one this time, Brian. I wanted to ask about Andrew and the saves that he had to also help you close out the win. Can you talk a little bit about his play and how that the past 2 matches, do they do anything in terms of the competition or looking at him versus Fry going forward?
Jada, thank you for that question because sometimes goalkeepers in a shootout type of game where there's 5 goals get overlooked. Andrew made a couple of key saves in the first half that kept us at 3-0. And, look, there is certainly a hierarchy because Steph is still number 1, but Andrew makes Steph better because Steph knows, we all see it, Andrew is right there. He's very close. And so it's a really good situation for us. You've got an experienced guy who's being pushed. You've got a young guy who's pushing to get into the lineup. And of course, Jake Castro has a tremendous upside as well. So our goalkeeping situation is really, really good.
Jeremiah, we'll head to you to close us out.
Yeah, more of a technical or practical question. If you could just give us a little update on Musovski and I guess some of the thinking of not using JP in this one.
I was planning on using him because look, the Union brought Carranza in and I could have maybe brought Steph in, but I wanted JP and Albert on the bench. I just, again, testament to the 2 young kids in the middle of the field. And those kids covered a lot of ground. And that was just a decision I made in the second half that, I was going to go with the guys that were on the field. Christian was gassed a little bit. We had talked about that, bringing JP on and moving one of the kids outside. But, I just felt that their covering all the ground was enough to keep him in the game and keep the lineup as it was.
So had nothing to do with his fitness. It was just a more of a tactical choice.
No, that was just an in-game choice. He's totally fine. Okay, yeah, Musovski is going to be fine. It's a obscure muscle. He'll be fine.
Thanks.